Hi, everyone. I'm John Lieberman, and this is I'm Thinking Of. And today I am thinking of marketing ops. And we have a terrific guest today, Darrell Alfonso, Global Marketing Ops at AWS. He leads that global marketing operation there. And Darrell, it's good to see you.
Yes. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
So let's just jump right in, Darrell. What trends are you seeing right now in terms of what marketing organizations are doing in implementing new technology into their MarTech stack?
Um, I think the first big one that we're seeing is that companies are realizing that data integration and the synchronization of data between systems actually creates value for their customers. And if you think about, the great things that data provides, people often forget that great marketing is predicated on having good data. So from a targeting perspective, the better your data, the more personalized, the more relevant your marketing and sales efforts can be. And then from an optimization and sort of insight standpoint, having good data real time and have it, consistent across systems enables you to pull insights in a way that you can't do when your data is not integrated and when it's siloed. So, and when you pull insights, you can optimize your current strategy or, come up with even better ones to create value for your customer. So those are, I think the big thing that we're really seeing in terms of trends is that data integration and synchronization is actually creating value for customers. And I think the top companies are realizing that.
Let me ask you this. Let me just take a quick step back and ask you, why is the role of marketing operations so critical for companies of, really all sizes?
I have a lot of thoughts on this. So, okay, I'm going to give you two answers. So my first answer is sort of the 30,000 foot view. I believe that marketing operations is the art and science of executing great marketing. So everything that goes into, and it can be incredibly strategic, it can be incredibly creative. How do you take the vision that leadership is setting out and executing it in a repeatable, scalable way that creates value for customers? That's my definition, my personal definition. Now, for those a little bit more tactical out there, another way to think about marketing operations is the team that owns the tools, processes, and metrics that support great marketing. So you've got the tools, which refers to the MarTech stack and the marketing technology. You have the processes, which is how do you execute campaigns? How do you make sure data is going from one place to another to create accurate reporting, which leads directly into the metrics part. I think marketing operations should be accountable for providing, that revenue marketing data that's so essential to making good marketing decisions.
So here's something we hear from our MOPS people, Darrell, all the time, and I want to get your opinion, because I think people see certain requests to MOPS like a one-off email or a list upload or a new form added to the website as kind of easy to complete. So my question for you is kind of, how do you manage the need for work to be done quickly, but also ensure that your team has enough time to properly build, test requests, and also work on the bigger, sort of more strategic projects?
Sure. So I want to answer this real quick with a sort of mindset frame. If you're walking down a tightrope, right, and you've got one side being strategic and one side being able to support, keeping the lights on. If you're walking down a tightrope, do you lean to the left or do you lean to the right? And the answer is you're always shifting based on which way you're falling and which way you're going. So that's how I think about it. But to answer your question in a little bit more helpful way, I think there's two things. One, you need to have a roadmap that's aligned with all of your stakeholders about what you're going to deliver throughout the year. And that can be a major marketing automation project. It could be a major database health project. It could be data enrichment. So having those key things sort of protects and also protects your projects, but it also communicates out that you're thinking strategically and you're thinking down the line. So the roadmap is the first one. The next thing that I like to give advice to marketing operations professionals is you need to have sort of a framework when you're answering these sort of ad hoc questions. And the framework goes like this. Is it going to impact or improve the customer experience? That's the first one. And if so, this is a number one priority. Then next down the line is, does it support sales and revenue in a sustainable way? So that then becomes, priority number two. And then thirdly and fourthly, you can start looking at other things like experimentation and then productivity. Those things are important, but they can never take priority over things like the customer experience and revenue. So that's how I go about thinking about those decisions.
Yeah, and those are some great thoughts there. Let me drill down a little bit and ask you this. What's the most frustrating part sometimes about being in marketing operations? Is it that people don't necessarily around you understand exactly what you do or how you do it? That's my question. And then the second part of it is, where do you see marketing ops heading, into the future? Is it going to change, drastically from where it is right now?
Yeah, this is a good question. So there's a couple of things that are frustrating that I see very common, and especially with my colleagues who I speak to in the marketing ops industry. And one is not really recognizing the importance of the role and sort of this underestimation of how much it takes to actually operate MarTech and to have a good data strategy and database health strategy. All of that, I think, sometimes falls to the wayside, and leaders and executives can often think that these things sort of come out of the box when they really don't. It takes a lot of effort, it takes talent, and it takes time. The second thing that I would think is that there is, especially with demand generation, especially with, hyper growth companies, you have a lot of short-term thinking. And I'm even accountable for that at times, where you really just want to hit your goal. So, you're putting together either hack solutions or you're buying a piece of marketing technology and you're not really sure what it looks like in the long term. So I see those as problems. I challenge usually my team and then also professionals out there in the industry to always think long term, to always have a 2-3 year roadmap of where you want to go and what your sort of big vision is, and make sure you're taking steps to get there. That doesn't mean don't experiment, and that doesn't mean try new things, but beginning with the end in mind is one of my favorite sayings. And I think that if you remember that, it'll keep you on the right track.
I love that saying. That's a great saying. Darrell Alfonso, Global Marketing Ops at AWS. Thanks so much for your time. Really good insights. And I think a lot of people are going to get a lot out of this. So thanks, Darrell.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.